Finally, a nice day off after grueling hours of going through people's literal garbage. It's nice to kick back and relax.
Heather! Heather! Heather, open up! I know you're in there!
The hell? Thespio? Okay, what are you doing here, and where did this door come from?
Oh, never mind all that. Is it true? No, okay, now follow me on this one. Is it true that you despise the Cutie Remark?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Though mostly the second half of it.
Finally! Some pony else who understands me! You, me, collab, now!
Whoa. Hold on there, pal. I finally have a day off after working at a freaking thrift store. Can't this wait?
Now!
Jeez! Fine! I swear if you break these windows, you owe me a new commission. Well, hello, every pony. Welcome back to Elements of Story. And, well, I guess you're in for a treat. It's my first ever collab. Though, would have been nice if he gave me some forewarning.
Have you seen Analysis Anarchy? As far as I know, forewarning is a foreign word to me.
Luna, help me if you make puns the rest of the video.
Oh, please, I'm not nearly as bad as Brawny Buck.
Who?
I'll show you later. Anyways, greetings, every pony. I'm Thespio, and today, me and Heather are going to be looking at what is objectively one of the worst episodes in the entire show, the Cutie Remark.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the concept alone is amazing, and it's always nice to see a fictional universe kind of experiment and see what other possibilities could have happened. There's just, really, in my opinion, one glimmering problem. God damn it, you got me doing it too.
You are learning well, my apprentice.
I will end you and Keyframe if this becomes permanent.
Aw, you flatter me. Wait, why Keyframe?
She knows what she did. Anyway, yes, for me the biggest problem is Starlight Glimmer, which is a real shame because she was amazing in the season premiere. I was looking forward to this finale more than anything because she was a different kind of villain. And she was the first villain to actually get away. I was expecting so much and then just let down so fast.
Oh no, my dear Heather. Oh no. It's not just Starlight that ruins the episode. It's a good majority of other things too.
Well, I do agree with you there, but you seem to really hate this episode a lot more than I do. I mean, for me, I can only detect other little nitpicks, and execution could have been a lot better. But overall, in my opinion, Starlight is clearly the biggest problem.
You really want to know, Heather? Well, then I suggest you take a seat. We're gonna be here for a while.
Well, okay, but I haven't commissioned to have my ponies in any other position than when I shrug.
Fine by me. As she stated earlier, Starlight had a lot of potential to be a great recurring villain right after her stellar performance in the Cutie map. She was manipulative, cunning, and snarky, despite her backwards philosophy on equality she presented to the ponies in this unnamed town.
Especially considering how she was in this for the long haul.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to estimate that she's had this village for about 10 years.
10 years? Why?
Well, not only did she not know about Twilight, but, looky here. You see these ponies?
Yeah, what about them?
Well, those are foals, right?
Yeah?
Can you tell me if you see anything that stands out about them?
Let me see. Wait. They're blank flanks?
Yep. Nowhere do you see a filly or colt with an equal cutie mark. Why do you think that is?
Wait a minute. You don't mean...
That's right, Thespio. They never got their own cutie marks. So not only does this mean that Starlight's spell will not work unless you already had a cutie mark, but that these kids had to have been born in this village. You know why I think they had to be born?
No.
Well, think of a kid in your life, any kid at all. Children, as you know, ask questions. If they were brought here by their own parents, they'd be asking said questions. Too many questions. And if you look closely, none of the children have those creepy brainwashed smiles that their parents have. They look normal. So that stands to reason that they were born here and think that this is normal. Starlight is raising these children to either never find their key mark, or, when they do, to get rid of it without any resistance. She is raising them into this philosophy, and when you are born into something like this, you can't escape so easily. Basically, Thespio, if the main six had come just 5 years later, there'd be no hope for these children, because they'd be in too deep, and Starlight would already have a little army at her beck and call that would never disobey her.
Uh, 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 I, wow. That is both horribly disgusting, yet amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I know. It's official. Starlight Glimmer is not just the pony equivalent of Hitler because of her philosophy, but of her literally trying to create a perfect, equal race.
You know, for kids?
Do you need to lie down? Is your brain hurting with how Starlight was more threatening than you thought?
Well, I would. If her very next appearance didn't squash everything you just said into the ground screaming for mercy.
Yeah. Damn. So much potential wasted. Anyway, sorry for interrupting you. Go on and continue.
Gladly. After the Cutie map, it was hinted heavily that Starlight Glimmer may become a recurring villain, which we sadly never got until the very end of the season, even if we saw little instances of her hiding behind menus or bushes. And even after all that build-up, I feel like the staff just blew it for such a contrived and muggled mess.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have a different instance. Her entrance, I thought, was decent, though, and you know what? I wasn't that bothered that Twilight was a little frightened by it.
Excuse me, what?
She was the only villain to get away. Think about it. All the other villains were either reformed, turned to stone, blown away like Team Rocket, blown away again into literal smithereens, and sent to hell. No other villain has ever escaped. And because Starlight is in her own right a normal pony, she could, in theory, blend in anywhere.
Well, that may be so, but has Twilight ever expressed physical fear when facing the other villains? Hell, she was able to battle head-on with Tyrek without so much as a nervous twitch. But then, all of a sudden, Spike mentioning Starlight possibly coming back is making her jittery?
Yes, but with Tyrek, she had not only her own power, but Celestia's, Luna's, and Cadence behind her. As far as we know, Thespio, there hasn't been any indication that Twilight is more powerful now than when she was a unicorn. She might not be at full alicorn level yet, and frankly, from what we have seen from the other alicorns, is their power really that impressive that they can't do anything on their own without some deus ex machina? Celestia couldn't even banish Luna on her own without the aid of the elements of harmony.
You know, it is interesting that you bring that up, because that's also another problem I have with this setup. It's because of those Deus Ex Machina magical items that paint the other princesses in a bad light. It's been shown multiple times that every princess, aside from Twilight, can't defeat anyone.
Well, besides Cadence.
But either way, it's been proven time and time again that Twilight is the only royal authority that actually gets shit done. It's kind of unsettling to think that the fate of all of Equestria rests on her and the rest of the main six's shoulders, which in turn paints the other princesses as either incompetent or completely stupid. I've heard arguments that say Celestia is trying a hooves-off approach to teaching other ponies to fend for themselves, but it sadly doesn't come off as such. She may have the moral high ground, but her pacifist ways don't amount to much when actual lives are in danger. Heck, we even see how distraught she is when she orders her army to attack against Sombra.
And that's why she's worst princess.
And you just went on the list.
What list?
The list of ponies Firebrand's gonna torch for bad-mouthing Celestia.
Oh, please, he's not gonna hurt me.
What makes you so sure?
I refuse to fight women. They're soft.
Ah. Touché.
Look, I can go into details about that later, and hopefully make people understand that I do like Celestia. I just think she needs to be a better ruler and actually have her own episode, but I'm gonna let you finish your rant first.
Thank you. Another big set of problems I have with this two-parter is Twilight herself. She may be my second favorite pony behind Rarity, but she was not at her best here. I mean, okay, not as bad as in What About Discord, but I digress. There were so many instances where she could have done something different and stopped Starlight right on the dot. But thanks to a lot of poor decisions, there were too many times where Starlight should have won in the end. Hell, even near the end when Starlight was threatening to destroy Star Swirl's scroll, she could have easily ripped it in 0.5 seconds instead of taking her dear sweet time.
But that's not just Twilight's fault now, is it? Okay, as you said, Starlight could have won if she wasn't being so freaking cocky, enjoying every second that she toys with Twilight. See, here's the thing. I feel that Twilight was scared of Starlight because, well, all the other villains she faced had simple goals. Power, chaos, destruction, and control. All cliché in their own wonderful ways. Starlight? She was an intellectual with motives, though twisted, could be seen as good ideas to other ponies, like how communism can be seen as a good idea to human society today. And because she wasn't some big monster out for world conquest, it wouldn't be surprising if perhaps Twilight was afraid of what she could do. Starlight is unpredictable, and we all know Twilight does not do well with those who are unpredictable.
Well, that may be true, but that still doesn't excuse the poor choices she's made where it could have all been done in an instant. For example, every time she was transported to a different timeline, up until the montage of Tyrek, Discord, and the Flimflam brothers, she insisted that she stay in each new universe and seek for help, when she could have easily done the spell and go back and try again instead of wasting time. She could have easily blasted the Timberwolves into toothpicks, or blow away the Chrysalis rebels and go back to the past and try again the second she landed in each timeline.
Well, in that instant, I believe the phrase, curiosity killed the cat, comes to mind. More than likely after that first travel into the past, Twilight wasn't sure of what the spell was doing. She had to go to Ponyville, had to see the full extent of the spell to come up with some way to either figure out a counterspell, or exactly what the spell does.
Alright, yeah, that is fair enough. However, another instance of stupidity was right here. After Twilight and Spike return from the Sombra timeline, Starlight entraps them both in pure crystal while she feels the need to monologue. First of all, why would it be taking what is basically a big rock this long to fall through clouds? It would have gone more like this. Second, after Starlight monologues and knocks them down to fall to their deaths, Twilight uses a spell to break free as they're falling. Question: why in the holy mother of fuck didn't she do that earlier? She knew she was able to do that spell, but she just took her dear sweet time to actually do it. Hell, she does the same thing vice versa to Starlight later on, and yet she actually has the smarts to escape from that crystal right away. You know what you're capable of, Twilight. We know you have smarts. Use them!
Ow. Okay. Remind me to get earplugs next time we collab together. Okay, well, not that I don't agree with you. Trust me, I do. But in this case, this is lazy writing. But you know, I'm having to wonder if the writers were required for Twilight to see more than one universe. And as far as I know, Josh Haber at the time was still relatively a new writer. I really wish they gave this concept to Megan McCarthy. Not that I don't like Josh Haber, but he was still green. I also can't help but wonder this. Did Twilight really know that spell already, or is she just really good at copying others since she also mastered rarities, and then the shield spell in the premiere? It's kind of convenient that she uses the same spell right after it being used on her. Either she knew it, is the pony equivalent of Rogue from X-Men, or we should just give this another point to plot devices. Either the case, I do agree not only here, but during the montage sequence, it's kind of weird how easily Starlight is able to keep up. I'm not saying she can't be a powerful unicorn, but for her to be at this level without any advanced training is making us think she's some kind of prodigy, and prodigies can be boring if not used and or written right. I want her to at least have struggled to have won at least once. That would have made it more satisfying and made her more threatening, because otherwise she's only won due to Twilight's incompetence. I wanted her to outsmart Twilight, not overpower her with magic alone.
You know, it's funny you mention that because that brings up another question. Why did Twilight have to rely on only magic to try and defeat Starlight? Why not try and at least attempt to use, physical force? This could have gone by so much quicker if Twilight just went up and either, snapped her neck or pummeled her into the ground until she was nothing. But I'm sure a lot of you are about to bring up this one specific argument that Megan McCarthy tweeted in Twilight's Kingdom they couldn't show Twilight punching Tyrek in the face. Now, that is a fair argument. One problem, though. Play the clip.
Way ahead of you.
The main six have shown great physical prowess multiple times in the past. Against an army of changelings in a Canterlot wedding, and do princesses dream of magic sheep, as well as a manticore in the very first episode, they were more than ready to throw down in Dragon Quest, and we even see that same physical prowess shown here with Rainbow Dash against Sombra's henchponies, as well as Zecora versus Chrysalis. Hell, Sombra straight up got killed in Season 3! So, sorry, but your argument's invalid.
Now, this isn't to say that this concept isn't amazing. It really is cool to see these alternate universes and seeing how things would have been effective. My favorite is the Sombra universe. That's why I'm at least a little partial to the first part of this finale.
Well, I can agree with you there. I, on the other hoof, still find fault with it. To give a bit of context, I myself am not a big fan of any piece of media that has to deal with time travel. Despite a few gems out there like Time Squad and Back to the Future, I've seen no other media that can ever get time travel right. First of all, in each alternate timeline, despite the rain boom not happening, it's shown that each of the main five still acquired their individual cutie marks. How? How are each pony still able to find their special talent when the one important factor that helped them achieve them was taken out entirely? Second, no pony, and I mean no pony, in each timeline even bats an eyelash that Twilight happens to be an alicorn. It's been established way earlier that if you're an alicorn, you're automatically the highest authority. And also, because the rain boom never happened, Twilight shouldn't even have wings. It's shown that because the rain boom didn't happen, she didn't pass her magic test at Celestia's school, so she never became a princess and Celestia didn't give her wings. And also, Spike would never have been born.
Wait. Hold up. Why shouldn't she still have wings? She's in an alternate timeline, true, but this could be the work of the butterfly effect. In fact, Zecora later on describes this whole situation as just that, a butterfly effect. So this Twilight still has wings because she's from one alternate universe. You're insinuating that they should be the same pony at the same time. Well then why does she keep appearing near the Cutie map? Shouldn't she be where her alternate unicorn self is at the time?
Well, okay, yeah, that's a fair point. But do we ever see the alternate Twilight in each timeline? No, we don't.
But that still doesn't mean she'd be the same pony. She's just basically a visitor from another time. So with that logic, shouldn't Starlight and Twilight be fillies every time they go back to the point of Rainbow's rainboom?
You see, this is the reason why time travel sucks. It makes my brain go ouch. Also, if I may add, this spell that Starlight is using, can we all just agree that Star Swirl the Bearded is the absolute worst wizard ever? It's been shown that he can't complete spells fully, and he throws all of his enemies into alternate dimensions, making it their problem and not his. Yeah, why does Twilight worship him again?
You keep making me defend this episode when I really don't want to. Star Swirl was the first powerful wizard as far as we know. Of course they're supposed to surpass him. It's just logical to surpass your elders. I mean, dick move, bro, and sending sirens to the human world. But at the same time, perhaps he had no idea that it was a populated place. He was around before Equestria formed as one, and in that time period, ponies were very racist. So, makes kind of sense that he might be more of a grump than we think.
All right, fair enough. But one more thing before we move on to the real major headache here.